Hey guys, this is Mark Hutten with AdultAsperger'sChat.com, and I wanted to take a deep dive into explaining this business of mind blindness and why it can cause problems in relationships. So this will get a little on the technical side. So the Diagnostic Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders defines 6 key domains of cognitive function, and they are social cognition, perceptual motor function, learning and memory, language, executive function, and complex attention. Now, mind blindness, which in essence is the opposite of empathy, is a cognitive disorder in which the person with Asperger's or high-functioning autism is unable to, or finds it very difficult to, predict the mental states of others. For example, their thoughts, beliefs, emotions, desires, behaviors, intentions, and so on. Now, it's not necessarily caused by an inability to imagine an answer, but it is often due to an inability to gather enough information to decipher which of the many possible answers is correct. And this is referred to as an empathetic cognitive deficit. Now, empathy is usually divided into 2 major components. There's cognitive empathy, and that's the ability to understand another's perspective or mental state. And then there's affective empathy, which is the ability to respond with an appropriate emotion to another's mental state. Now, cognitive and affective empathy are also independent from one another. For example, you may not be very good at understanding another person's perspective, but you may be very good at empathizing with other people. So people on the autism spectrum have deficits in both cognitive and affective empathy. Okay, so now I want to look at the subcategories of both cognitive and affective empathy. Cognitive empathy can be subdivided into 3 categories. There's tactical or strategic empathy, which is the deliberate use of perspective taking to achieve certain desired ends. Then there is perspective taking, which is the tendency to spontaneously adopt another person's psychological perspective. And then there's fantasy, which is the tendency to identify with fictional characters. Now, there is 2 categories that can be subsumed under affective empathy, and they are personal distress, which is possessing feelings of discomfort and anxiety in response to another's suffering. And then there's empathic concern, which is having compassion for others in response to their suffering. So mind blindness is a state where the ability to make automatic interpretations of events, taking into consideration the mental states of people, their desires, and beliefs, has not been developed or is lost in the person on the autism spectrum. So can you imagine living with a disorder in which you can't perceive or interpret the behavior of others? For example, their needs and desires, their feelings, beliefs, their goals, purposes. All of these things are a total mystery to you. The higher their anxiety goes, the worse the mind blindness, and the more difficulty they're going to have with interpersonal relationships and all the emotional nuances that come with relationships. So the social and cognitive impairments seen in people on the autism spectrum can be attributed to mind blindness. Let me repeat that. The social and cognitive impairments seen in people on the autism spectrum can be attributed to mind blindness. The abnormal behavior of these individuals includes a lack of reciprocity, difficulty empathizing with others, being totally withdrawn from social settings, especially under high stress, sometimes not being able to make eye contact, and again, if the anxiety is high, they have little to no desire to interact with other people, which we call social detachment.